Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now August 4th of 2022, and as we get closer to shows out there like Star Wars Andor, Tales of the Jedi, and yes, even The Bad Batch Season 2, a lot of fans are also looking forward to The Mandalorian Season 3, which will be set and ready to debut by February of next year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that a lot of fans out there have been very invested in what Jon and Dave are developing. Now, we must be aware that with, of course, shows out there like Andor and the KENOBI series, Jon and Dave had little to no involvement with. And everything, moving from all of that is going to be pretty much for the most part Jon and Dave Filoni. Of course, we got Skeleton Crew and the Acolyte that's going to be done by Kathleen Kennedy primarily, since she has a lot of creative power over those two shows. But other than that, everything is looking like it's coming into fruition finally. Now, moving on to what Jon and Dave have some big plans with for one of the new Star Wars TV shows that are about to be announced at Star Wars Celebration Europe next year, there's a lot of things brewing behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm to really prepare fans for the future. Now, one thing that we do know about everything related to the Star Wars universe is that they are going to be cherry-picking the highlights from Star Wars Legends, and what I mean by that is they're going to be taking a lot of elements from the main books, such as the Thrawn Trilogy, the Dark Empire comics, for example, Shadows of the Empire, the New Jedi Order. A lot of things in there are going to be used as a way to tell the stories of the Mandoverse and the Ahsoka Tano series, just for starters there. Moving on. Now, on top of all of this, guys, what's even all the more exciting is that with many new Star Wars TV shows currently in the works by Disney and Lucasfilm, creators Favreau and Filoni are beginning to develop brand new eras of the Star Wars universe that will be revealed this fall. However, it's noted that Jon and Dave are getting ready to begin working on a brand new Star Wars project that is going to span throughout different points in time, of course, of the original Star Wars trilogy that is set to be treated as a limited Star Wars series for now that is currently codenamed Project Red Mist. Now, it's described that Project Red Mist is set to involve new characters based in between the original trilogy films that are also set to bring in new takes on Luke Skywalker as well. However, Jon and Dave have some pretty big detailed plans on recreating both the Battle of Endor and the Battle of Yavin in the new Star Wars show in order to modernize the famous battles in space for the Star Wars community to actually see. Now, this has been in the works for a very long time now and is finally moving forward for the fans. Red Mist is set to be based in between the OT movies, but will also feature highlights from the actual films that will be recreated. Now, Jon and Dave are prepared to give fans a Battle of Scarif style take on this Battle of Endor and Battle of Yavin sequence in a full modern form in order to really give the fans something exciting. Writer Tony Gilroy is said to also be in the talks with Jon Favreau and Dave on joining this project as a co-writer, but depends on his availability as he is interested in giving that Rogue One tone. Now, the modern version of these battles will include things such as a brand new take on the destruction of both the Death Stars and the wreckage that actually causes and wreaks havoc on nearby locations. So let me just pause here for a second. Now, we talked about this before in the past and how it's been pretty much happening behind the scenes for a very long time now, going on and off with concept art and storyboards for this new mysterious series codenamed Red Mist. To me, I think it's a very interesting show. Do I think that the original trilogy needs to be refilmed when it comes to some of its famous scenes? No, not at all, really. I don't think it's really all that much of, a necessity, but there's no denying the fact that I'm going to find this pretty entertaining if it's done well. And it's all about that, if it's done well. They need to be very, very careful with remaking the Battle of Endor and the Battle of Yavin. Alright, they have to really, and I mean really, be very careful with this, because if you slip things up and kind of, go the wrong way with that, that's when Jon and Dave are really gonna become, getting a lot of flack and getting a lot of backlash, and could very well, be on a different level of criticism. So they have to be very, very careful with all of this. So when you look at everything related to the Battle of Yavin and the Battle of Endor, yes, I get it, they're from the 1970s and the 1980s, and basically what Jon and Dave want to do is that they want to give us a modern take on those two battles, and basically they are aiming for that Battle of Scarif style, of course, in that modern, cinematography format. And I think, I think it's going to be actually pretty good, as long as they really stay true to how it was actually done by George back in the day, and exactly, if they're able to keep that essence, alright, to keep that tone intact of the original trilogy movies. So moving on from all of that, alright, this is where things begin to even pick up further, is that Jon and Dave are aiming to make Red Mist about a group of starfighters and Force sensitives, along with a new story of Luke that will be inspired from the Star Wars comics that were released a couple of years ago. Now, these, of course, modern versions of the two big battles from the OT are also going to be supervised and co-written by George Lucas, while he works along with Favreau and Filoni. Jon is looking to get at least one other co-writer, and that is said to be Tony Gilroy, who worked on Rogue One. Additionally, this new Star Wars project is set to give fans a brand new series of starfighters, such as E-Wings and others coming into the Star Wars actual universe from Star Wars Legends. Now, Jon and Dave are also going to include new reveals related to some of the other characters, like recreating Han and Leia in this new story, where this is said to be essentially Rangers of the New Republic in spirit, after it was cancelled, with some brand new storylines attached and putting itself in a different point in time in order to make it different for them during the writing process, to start from, of course, to finish. Now, this series is planned to release sometime in 2025 as of right now for the overall Star Wars community. Now, keep in mind, George Lucas is set to co-write this brand new Star Wars show that's going to feature the recreation of the Battle of Yavin and the Battle of Endor, and he will be involved as a co-writer, working with Favreau, Filoni, and potentially Tony Gilroy. Now, this is really going to be quite a very interesting process, because we got a couple of years away until we're finally going to be able to see this, but we don't have that much longer until they're going to announce this thing at Celebration in Europe next year, because that's going to be a big deal as well. The thing about this too is the fact that George Lucas is involved gives me a lot more faith. I'm not too worried about this. I think it's going to be fantastic. Again, like I said, is it necessary that we're doing this, or that they are going through with this? Absolutely not. It's not a necessity. But at the same exact time, this, I believe, is going to be very entertaining. It's going to really open up a lot of gateway to possibilities of what they could do with different eras. Again, they're looking to throw in storylines of Luke in between what happens, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and or in between, of course, the New Hope film and the Empire Strikes Back, different points in time. So overall, I think that great things are coming out of Jon and Dave. Again, like I said before, you just got to be careful with this. This is something that a lot of fans are going to be very skeptical about, as well as being very on edge about, because let's face it, the original trilogy are Star Wars. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.